Welcome back, people, to another trade recap, and in today's video I'm going to be going over how I am down $480 on the day. Honestly, today, bias wise, I was right in some cases, I was wrong in the others, but even though I'm down on the day, I am extremely happy with how I dealt with the markets today. So getting straight into the charts for today, as you can see, I was short biased. And I had every single right to be. Now, unfortunately, price trickled to the upside. I didn't capitalize on it. Do I give a fuck? No, I don't, because I did what I needed to do. Trade number one that I took. Great entry, core, almost the top of New York's open. We ended up getting stopped out at break even. Second trade comes along, bit of an impulsive trade. Was Confluences there backing my theses? 200%, yeah, 100%. Like, Confluences were there, price action just wasn't. Unfortunately, we got stopped out at full stop loss on that trade. So let me just get rid of these boxes, delete my executions, and look, as I said in the intro, I am so happy with how I dealt with today's markets because they weren't easy. I'm not trying to make an excuse because I lost on the day, because I don't give a shit that I lost on the day, because I follow my rules. Today's markets were not easy simply because both time frames, being low time frames and high time frames, were contradicting each other. Head over to the 4-hour time frame. What can we see on this chart? We can see a lot of wicks up top. Head to the low time frames. What can we see? A lot of candles closing in the same spot. So on the high time frames, say the 4-hour time frame, we've got a bunch of wicks holding price, making it seem like price is gonna fall to the downside. On the 15-minute time frame, we can see that price is holding this buy side liquidity level and stopping price from churning down lower. So clearly by now you will have realized that I had a bearish bias going into the day. That is simply because, go to the daily chart, yesterday we caught sells off of market open based off of this easy Confluence right here. Head over and mark out a rejection block on the daily candle. Yesterday, we caught sells off of market open to the downside. Today, what can we see upon market open? Marking out our draws on liquidity for the day. We've got the opening gap range being bearish. We've got London low, London high was swept before market open, so we don't really need to mark that out. But this daily rejection block, 4-hour rejection block, whatever time frame you want to put it on, is seeming to hold bearish order flow. That is represented by price failing to break above and take previous day high, meaning we've got a lot more sellers than buyers in the markets. Continuing to the downside, inversing 2 15-minute for value gaps, and then holding another one bearish for value gap. And honestly, today, like, I can't imagine this recap's going to be any good, but I'm still going to put it out. Like, I was bearish biased. We can see that on the high time frames, price is being held. We can see that on the low time frames, liquidity is being generated. We had a session low. We had the opening gap range. We had a lot of low resistance liquidity, obviously. Today, I just wanted shorts on the markets. So, understanding that I want shorts on the markets, is it likely for me to flip my biases? For me to flip my bias? No, it is not. I'm going to stand my ground, because if I were to flip biases and the trade does go against me, I had every single reason to not get in that position in the first place. So heading down to the 5-minute time frame, I'm bearish on the high time frames. All that I need to do is find an entry on the low time frames. So cool. Market opens up around OTE of this price leg. What does that mean on the charts? That means that everyone who sold the markets up here, hoping for price to go to the downside, has moved their stop losses to break even because price has favored their direction and they have no reason to risk more capital that doesn't need to be risked. As soon as price retraces to the upside, stopping out all of the people who went break even in this area, price has now got all of the reason to go to the downside again because it has eaten the fruit that was offered by the positions at a higher point in the charts. So, understanding that I'm bearish, what do we need to do to enter the trade? I don't need, but I'd ideally like to see a confident draw on liquidity, being sell side liquidity. Obviously, we've got London low, opening at range, low resistance liquidity. I need to see an SMT, chaining state delivery, and internal manipulation. As soon as price opens, we run higher. There is my internal manipulation. People thought price would shit the bed straight away. We didn't. We swept out everyone who's got their stop losses at this internal high. Before that, we already had an SMT with this internal high. ES did not decide to take it for whatever reason. If we now zoom into this 1 minute, and just before we do that, look at this rejection block, man, this daily rejection block. You can see here that we are clearly holding bearish levels on the charts, which obviously back my bias. Like, what are we doing at the fill of the rejection block? We're rejecting lower. What are we doing when we pass through the 50% of it? We're rejecting lower. We're rejecting lower. Like, today was unfortunate. I stuck with my bias. I did what I needed to do. But anyway, heading over to the internal bits of the 1 minute chart, we've got an inverse for value gap right here, and we have got a change in state delivery right here. Funnily enough, I did literally catch the top of this massive candle. I didn't take any partials because I was confident price would go lower. But anyway, head down to the 30-second time frame. We can see if we want to be bearish, we want to see price go higher first to sell. We saw that price went higher to sell. If we want to be bearish, we want to see bullish PD arrays or bullish. Let me reword it. If we want to see bearish price action, we don't want to see bullish rejections get respected. We want to see bullish rejections get disrespected. That exactly looks like this. Price has swept to the downside after putting in an SMT and internally manipulating. It has broken through this 1 minute inverse for value gap right here on the 32nd. What can we see here? We can see that price has tried to close below this chaining state delivery. It has failed. It has fully closed through this inverse for value gap. It has retraced back into it and rejected off of it. That is all the confirmation in the world. We can see that bearish order flow is now getting respected on the low time frames. Bearish order flow was seeming to be getting respected on the high time frames. This is my time to shine, boys. So I hopped in this trade with like 6 micros, I think. Yeah, 6 micros. Originally, I was aiming to take off like 2 contracts at this low. No, I was originally aiming to go break even at whatever point in this whole range. I decided to go break even at the bottom of that candle. Ideally, I was going to take off some contracts at London low, some contracts at lower day, but it was all dependent on how price was moving, how fast it was moving. Unfortunately, price generated a lot of sell side liquidity here just to come all the way back to the upside, stopping me out and retracing lower again. So, understanding that everyone who now entered in OTE of this New York expansion leg, price retraced into it, stopped everyone out, ran to the downside. I hopped in another trade like here. Stop loss at this for value gaps open, targeting London low. I did take break even on the first trade as well, so I was obviously willing to risk some more bread because I wasn't down anything. Led into the charts, stop loss to this high, my break-even point was here, but we literally just swept it and within 5 seconds ran to the upside. I would have rather left my stop loss at full stop loss instead of moving it to break-even instead of, fucking hell, that wasn't a good recap. But anyway, hopefully it was good in some ways. I'm absolutely obliterated. I'm so tired. So I hope you guys learned something, and I will see you tomorrow.